Now, let us start a new accounting standard AS19 lease. AS19 lease, very simple because the entire standard is based on accounting, calculation. And the calculation is also what? Present value calculation. Okay. Now, what is the meaning of lease? What do you mean by lease? A lease is a contract, means agreement, whereby lessor means the owner of the asset, lessor convey to the lessee. Lessee is the person who will be using the asset. So convey to the lessee in return for a payment or a series of payment, either a lump sum payment or series of payment, the right to use an asset for an agreed period of time. So this become a contract which is a lease contract. Correct? Now, from accounting point of view, any lease can be either finance lease or operating lease. So what do you mean finance lease? Finance lease is the lease where the lessor transfer the risk and reward incidental to the ownership of the asset to the lessee. Means when substantially all the risk and reward of that asset has been transferred to the lessee, it become a finance lease. And if it is not a finance lease, then it become a operating lease. So operating lease we can say in that way, when the risk and reward is not transferred, then it become an operating lease. Okay. Now, sir, how to understand whether risk and reward has been transferred or not transferred? For that, AS19 has given 5 situations. How many situations? If any of the situation exists, then it will be what? A finance lease. If any of the situation exists, then it will be a finance lease. Correct. So let us understand one by one each situation, important from exam point of view. The first situation, when the lessee will get the ownership of the asset at the end of lease term. So if the lessee will get the ownership of the leased asset at the end of lease term, it will be a finance lease. Correct? I think clear. Means ownership transfer, it become a finance lease. Point number B is what? Ki ownership will be transferred, but that is given as an option to the lessee. Ki lessee has an option to purchase the asset at the end of lease term, and the option must be favorable. Can I say if the option is unfavorable, then lessee will not exercise it? If the option is favorable, then only lessee will exercise it. So an option has been given to the lessee to purchase the asset at the end of lease term at a price which is substantially lower than the fair value of asset at the end of lease term. Means suppose at the end of lease term, the fair value of asset is 1 lakh. An option has been given that you can purchase the asset at 10,000. So everyone will exercise it. It means, can I say, in any case, the ownership will be transferred in this case also, and therefore it will be also a finance lease. So you can see in point number A and point number B, ownership is going to be transferred at the end of lease term, either as per the explicit contract or as an option given to the lessee. But it does not mean that every time if the ownership is transferred, then only it is a finance lease. A lease can be finance lease even though ownership is not transferred, at the end of lease term. So what point number C says that if the lease term cover the major part of the economic life of the asset, even though ownership is not transferred, if the lease term cover major part of the economic life of the asset. Now suppose the economic life is 10 years and the lease term is also 10 years. It means, can you say entire benefit is derived by whom? Lessee only. It means the risk and reward has been transferred. Correct. Now the question is, sir, what do you mean by major part? Sir, how can we understand it is the lease term cover the major part of the economic life of the asset? So this major part has not been defined under AS19. But from examination point of view, if it is 75% of economic life, means the lease term is 75% of economic life, will assume that it is for the major part. Correct? So from examination point of view, major part will be considered as 75% of the economic life. Means suppose the economic life is 10 years and the lease term is 6 years. So but whether third condition is satisfied or not satisfied? Not satisfied, because it becomes 60%. So we'll say it is not for the major part. But if it is 9 year, we'll say major part. If it is 8 year, we'll say major part. Correct now? So that will be conclusion from examination point of view. However, till now, whatever question has been given in CA inter examination in which entire economic life is lease term. Till now, that type of question has been given. Means the question is say that lease has been the asset has been given lease term for the entire economic life. Entire economic life. So always point number C is satisfied. Point number C will be satisfied. Understood? Then point number D what says he on inception of lease. On inception means on the date of contract. On inception of lease, the present value of minimum lease payment. The present value of minimum lease payment covers substantially the fair value of the asset. Covers substantially the fair value of the asset. Now, what is minimum lease payment? Of course, I hope you know, but we'll discuss in the later part. Okay. Now, present value you know how to calculate. So, if you know minimum lease payment, you can find out present value of minimum lease payment. Now, you compare with the fair value, initial fair value of the asset. If the present value of minimum lease payment is 90% or more than 90% of the fair value, we'll consider it as substantial. Means once again this substantial word has not been defined, but from examination point of view we'll say 90% or more than 90%. 90% or more than 90%. So from examination point of view it is 90% or more than 90%. Practically it depends upon judgment. Practically depends upon judgment. I hope you are understanding. Correct. Now, of course, one doubt will come, sir, if it is 89.90, so of course you can consider it as 90%, but that type of question they will not ask. Means they will not try to confuse you on that part. They will not try to confuse you on that part. If 89% came, then what will consider? Because 89% and 90% is not much difference. Got this point? Are you able to understand? So that type of question they will never ask in exam. So I hope this point also you have understood. You need to first calculate present value of minimum lease payment, compare with the fair value. If it covers 90% or more than 90% of fair value, it will be a finance lease. It will be a finance lease. Last point what they are saying, leased asset is of such nature that it can be used only by lessee. It cannot be used by any other person unless major modification is being made. Then also it will be a finance lease. Then also it will be a finance lease. Means the lease asset is of specialized nature which can be used only by lessee. It cannot be used by any other person unless some major modification is being made. The best example is suppose ambulance. Now ambulance has been designed only for hospital need. So whether you can use ambulance for your own long drive person. Now suppose you want to go for long drive with someone special, so you will go in ambulance. No. It means if you want to use ambulance, some major modification is required to be done. Therefore, it is what of specialized nature. And therefore, if you have taken a lease of ambulance, it will be always a finance lease. Got this point? I think this 5 point is simple. You have understood. So it is quite possible in exam they can ask a question, identify the nature of lease. So in that case, can you see, you need to identify based on these 5 factors? Normally what happens, A, B, C and E. A, B, C and E will depend upon the information given in the question. A, B, C and E will depend upon the information, A, B, C and E depends upon the information given in the question. So normally if that information is given, direct information is given. But if suppose A, B, C and E is not given, then always apply point number D. For point number D, calculation is required. And normally in exam, the question remains silent, then always you need to apply point number D to identify whether it is a finance lease or it is not a finance lease. Whether it is a finance lease or not a finance lease. Understand what I am saying? A, B, C and E depends upon the direct information. If the direct information is not given, then apply point number A. In that you need to calculate present value of minimum lease payment, compare with the fair value. If it is 90% or more than 90%, it is a finance lease, otherwise it is not a finance lease. Understood? We'll take one question but at a later part. Chalega? Have you understood? Correct. Now this you can read by your own. Now coming to directly we are coming to accounting. I will explain with accounting everything. Okay. Coming to accounting. So accounting will depend upon finance lease or operating lease. So now of course you can understand whether it is a question of finance lease or it is a question of operating lease. Correct? Yes, sir. Once it is a finance lease, normally they ask finance lease in exam. Normally they ask finance lease and in exam normally they ask for lessee or they may ask for lesser also, but lesser they are only asking 1 or 2 points. So lessee is more important from examination point of view. So can you say on inception of lease, lessee will recognize the lease accounting, lease, they will recognize the lease. So what journal entry they will do? Journal entry will be leased asset to lease liability. Lease asset account debit to lease liability. So for recognition of lease on inception of lease, what journal entry? Lease asset to lease liability. Now the question is at what amount? At what amount? So this will be at what amount? This will be at lower of point number A and B. Lower of point number A and B. A is fair value of asset. A means for fair value of asset. That will be given in the question. B will be the present value of minimum lease payment from the point of view of lessee. Present value of minimum lease payment from the point of view of lessee. From the point lessee. Why from the point of lessee? Because we are doing accounting in the books of lessee. So very simple, fair value will be given in the question. Present value you can calculate, but present value of what? Minimum lease payment from the standpoint of lessee. Now what is minimum lease payment that we need to understand? Minimum lease payment that we need to understand. So minimum lease payment means what? If I am saying minimum lease payment, you can go up. Minimum lease payment from the point of lessee, we are discussing this. So minimum lease payment is lease payment over lease term. Lease payment over lease term. So it is lease payment over lease term. Lease payment over lease term. Now what is lease payment that we need to understand? What do you mean by lease payment that we need to understand? So go up. Lease payment means what? Lease payment means simple. Any payment made by lessee to lessor is lease payment. Any payment made by lessee to lessor over lease term, that is a lease payment. But it will not include what? That we need to understand. So normally as per the question given, it will include all the payment. But if suppose question has given it also they have given information about contingent rent or cost for services or taxes to be paid by lessee or to be reimbursed to lessor. So these are not a part of lease payment. So any contingent rent, any cost for services, any taxes paid by lessee are not included in lease payment. That are not included in lease payment. So what are these? I hope you understand. Lease payment means any payment made by lessee to lessor. But lease payment will not include what? Contingent rent, cost for services and taxes paid. Okay, taxes paid. Taxes will be paid by owner. Municipal tax. If I have taken any property, the taxes will be paid by owner. So normally the taxes is not for the use of asset. Not for the use of asset. Therefore, taxes is not a part of lease payment. Correct. Now, cost for services. Just try to understand. Suppose you have taken a building on lease, and the lessor is also providing some maintenance services. So you are paying for some services. That is for some other services apart from the use of asset. Therefore, that is not a part of lease payment. Therefore, that is also not a part of lease payment. So cost of services you understood. Taxes you understood. Correct. Now, what do you mean by contingent rent? Contingent rent means what? Contingent rent means any extra payment which is based on some happening or non-happening of uncertain future event. Let me take one example. It actually happened with me also when I have started my coaching profession. So when I started my coaching profession, so that time I was not having much student. So I have taken a small room with a capacity of 25 students. Correct? So that time the market rent of that room was 10,000. So agreed, 10,000 agreed, and I started teaching. So initially there was 5 students, then it jumped to 10 students, then it jumped to 30 students. So once it become 30 students, so India we can adjust in 25 capacity also. Indian people know how to adjust. Yes or no? So in 25 room capacity, how much student were adjusting? 30 students. This was seen by owner. So owner said, what is this? Capacity is what? You are teaching how many students? 30. I said, why you are in problem? They are happy, I am happy. Why you are interfering? So he become greedy. He said, acha, capacity is what? 25. And now multiple batches with 30 students. So he become greedy. Why he become greedy? Because he is greedy because I am earning more. But that is my effort, na? So he said, he changed the agreement. Now he is saying the rent is 12,000 and you need to pay for every student 100 rupees. And what is this? You take 12,000 rent, okay, now I am agreed. But now he become greedy. Now you are saying any student you are teaching, you need to pay 100 rupees extra. Understood? Can this become contingent rent? Contingent rent means any payment whichever we are paying over and above market rent, that become contingent rent. So that is also not a part of lease payment. But till now this point has not been asked at CA inter level, but then also you should know that this is not a part of lease payment. This is not a part of lease payment. So lease payment will not include what? Contingent rent, cost of services and taxes. Correct? Understood? So now you have understood lease payment. Now lease payment means what? Any minimum payment payable over the lease term, excluding these three, plus any purchase option price. I mean, right now we have done second situation in which the lessee has an option to purchase the asset. So any purchase option price, suppose one option has been given that you can purchase the asset at the end of lease term by paying 1 lakh. So 1 lakh will be also included in lease payment. 1 lakh will be also included in lease payment. So lease payment means what? Lease payment over lease term, excluding that 3, plus any purchase option price. Understood? Have you understood this one? So lease payment you understood? Over lease term you understood? Plus what? Any guaranteed residual value in respect of lessee. Now just try to understand, if the purchase option price is not given, means the purchase option is not given, then also lessee may expect to purchase the asset at the end of lease term. But in that case, what is not given? Purchase option is not given in the agreement. So in that case, lessee may give one guarantee to lessor that I will purchase the asset at the end of lease term by paying this much amount. So that become guaranteed residual value. Means this is an expected amount to be paid. So any amount which is guaranteed by lessee to lessor to purchase the asset at the end of lease term, which was not mentioned in the agreement, that will be known as GRV. GRV means what? Guaranteed residual value. Understood? Correct? Means can I say, if lease payment, common sense, if lease payment include purchase option price, then there will be no guarantee. Then there is no question of guarantee. Means guarantee will only come when there is no purchase option given in the agreement. Means either there will be purchase option or there will be guarantee. They cannot be both. Understood? So what is the difference between purchase option price and GRV? Purchase option price is a part of agreement, but GRV is not a part of agreement. That is only a guarantee given by lessee to lessor that this amount I will pay at the end of lease term, and if you want, I can purchase the asset at the end of lease term. Understood? Correct. I hope you have understood minimum lease payment. Minimum lease payment you understood? So minimum lease payment means what? Lease payment over lease term, excluding what? Contingent rent, taxes and cost for services, plus GRV. GRV in respect of lessee. GRV in respect of lessee means what? Guarantee given by lessee or on behalf of lessee. Correct? Yes, sir. So can you see, you can easily calculate these two amount. Fair value will be given the question, present value you can calculate, VT will take lower, and this journal entry can be done. Understood? Let me take one question. Only with this journal entry we can understand everything. Question 10. Lessee Limited took a machine on the lease from lessor. Fair value is 7 lakh. The economic life of the machine as well as the asset lease term is 3 years. Means it is what? Finance lease. The lease term and economic life are same. Means lease term cover the major part of the economic life of the asset. It become a finance lease. At the end of each year, Lessee Limited paid 3 lakh. So this become annual lease payment. The lessee has guaranteed a residual value of 22,000 on expiry of lease to the lessor. Means GRB will be also taken into consideration, but this is payable at the end of 3rd year. However, lessor estimate that residual value of the machinery will be only 15,000. So this is the expectation of lesser. But how much guarantee received? But what will do about 15,000? Nothing. But right now we are in the books of lessee. So any expectation of lessor is not at all relevant. This will be taken into consideration when we will be in the books of lessor. So this is Bakwas point. Okay. The implicit rate of interest is given 15%. So they have given discounting rate and they have given present value factor. Now just try to understand, they have given present value factor in 3 decimal. Can you take 4 decimal? If you are taking 4 decimal, 0 marks. Okay. Even though your answer is correct, but then also 0 marks. And it's because who is checking your paper? 5 attempt. Okay. Then only write exam. They will not give anything free marks. Okay. Believe me, if I am checking, I will give you marks. Because I can understand you, because you are my student. Because देखो, teacher have some emotions with student. But if I am checking as a CA now, I will not give marks. Because you will become my competitor now. Just try to understand. If I am checking because I have some emotions with the student, because I am in the field of teaching, so we have some emotions. Believe me, I will give marks. But who is checking your paper? Your competitor. So don't expect any free marks. And then also they are 5 attempt wala student. Then to no attempt, no mercy. And this is given, calculate the value of machinery. So they have asked calculate the value of machinery and finance charges. This is one of the favorite questions. So first let us find out the value of machinery. So what will be your answer? Value of machinery will be lower of A and B. A and B, lower of A is what? Fair value. Fair value is given how much? Pakka? I forgot. It is given how much? 7 lakh. So 7 lakh is given to 7 lakh. Now today you should download the question paper now. You have not downloaded. Okay. But you have not taken printout. You want us to give printout? Always expect everything from us. Okay. Now we'll calculate present value of minimum lease payment. Minimum lease payment from the standpoint of lessee. From the standpoint of lessee. So what is annual payment? It is given how much? 3 lakh. 3 lakh multiplied by annuity factor. Annuity factor na? Correct. And plus what is GRB given? 22,000. This is multiplied by annuity factor. Present value factor. So what is the annuity factor? Means sum total of present value factor. So 869 plus 756 plus 657. How much? 2.282. And this is 0.657. Can you multiply this? Acha, this present value calculation, you know. I am not teaching you present value. Huh? If you don't know, refer your FM faculty. Okay? So I am assuming you know present value. So I am not explaining anything about present value. Okay, sir? This is how much? 6 lakh. So what is lower? Lower is this. Therefore, what is the value of? Give me total amount, right? 6,92,000. Now, okay. What is lower? Lower is this. Okay. So we'll take this amount. So what is the value of machinery? Value of machinery is 6,99,054. So what is the first entry? Leased machinery. Leased machinery. Account debit to lease liability. How much? 6,99,054. 6,99,054. However, they have not asked general entry, they have asked only value of machinery. So value of machinery, lease liability, the amount will remain same. Correct? Now they have also asked finance charges. So they have asked finance charges, so we'll make one table. What is the table? We'll first write on year. They will write on opening liability. OL means opening liability. Then we'll add interest at what rate? Rate of interest is what? 15%. And then we'll minus lease payment. This will become closing liability. So we'll prepare one table. For how many year? Year 1, year 2, year 3. What is the opening liability? 6,99,054. So first, can you give me interest at a rate of 15%? 1 lakh 4,858. And the lease payment is how much? 3 lakh. So we'll minus 3 lakh. So what is the closing liability? 5 lakh. 1 lakh. How it is 1 lakh? 6,99,054 into 15 into I am also doing 1,04,850 is correct. Then minus 3 lakh. Minus 3 lakh how much? It is 5 lakh 3,912. This is plus, this is minus. Okay, understood. Then once again opening liability will be 5 lakh 3,912. Once again interest will be how much percent? 15%. How much? 75,587 minus once again how much? 3 lakh. 2,79,499. So once again 2,79,499. Last year interest will be what? Balancing figure. And case this will be 3 lakh. And what was the GRB? So that will be the closing balance. Because right now we don't know whether it is paid or not paid. To write down in the closing liability. Okay. So what is the balancing figure coming? 20,501. I think not correct. 3,22,000 minus this. 3,22,000 minus this. 42,501. Understood? So this become your finance charges. This become your finance charges. So what will be the journal entry at year end 1? Batao. Can you say finance charges account debit to lease liability how much? 1,04,858. 1,04,858. Then can you see you will also do payment to year end 1. Once again lease liability account debit to bank. Lease liability account debit to bank how much? 3 lakh. And lessee will also charge depreciation. Lessee will also charge depreciation. So at year end 1, one more journal entry. Depreciation account debit to leased asset. Because it is for entire economic life. And economic life is 3 years. So we will say divide by 3. SLM base. We will assume SLM and divide by 3. How much coming? 2,33,018. Have you understood these 3 journal entry? These are subsequent journal entry. Subsequent journal entry. Normally in exam, they will ask either calculation based, means they will ask to calculate value of machinery and finance charges, or they will ask with first year journal entry. If they ask with first year journal entry, then it becomes 10 marks question. So only first year journal entry they will ask. So very simple. Chalega. Lessee accounting is this much only. Lessee accounting is this much only. Correct? Doubt? Understood? So can I say minimum lease payment we need to find out present value? So what AS 19 says that present value of minimum lease payment should be calculated by using interest rate implicit in the lease. What is the keyword? Interest rate implicit in the lease. And if it cannot be determined, then discounting will be done by using lessee incremental borrowing rate. Lessee incremental borrowing rate means the first preference will be given to what? Interest rate implicit on the lease. If that is not given in the question, then take what? Lessee incremental borrowing rate. Understood? Doubt? Okay. Understood? Why I'm explaining this? Because it can be a question of multiple choice question. In the books of lessee, discount rate will be what? So discount rate will be what? Interest rate implicit on the lease or lessee incremental borrowing rate. First preference will be given to what? Interest rate implicit on the lease. If it cannot be determined, then lessee incremental borrowing rate. Understood? Now, how to calculate interest rate implicit on the lease, that will be explained when I will do lesser accounting, because this is calculated from lesser point of view, not from lessee point of view. It is calculated from lesser point of view, not from lessee point of view. Understood? Yes, sir. Then any initial direct cost, till now this type of information has not been given any question, but suppose any initial direct cost incurred, for example installation expense, etc., so that will be capitalized. Correct. So what journal entry will do? Lease machinery, yeah, leased asset account debit to cash or bank, it will be capitalized. Understood? Then for recognition of finance charges to lease liability. Then for payment of lease payment, journal entry is what? Lease liability to cash or bank. For any contingent rent, cost of service or taxes. Understood? Because this was not included in lease payment, so this is paid separately. So whatever payment has been done, that will be recognized as an expense as and when they are incurred. So it will be charged to PL as an expense as and when they are incurred. This can be asked in multiple choice question. They are recognized as an expense as and when they are incurred. Chalega? Understood? Last, for charging depreciation. Now normally depreciation will be calculated as per the requirement of AS10. But there are 2 points. There can be 2 situations. Either the ownership has been transferred or ownership has not been transferred. Can you see if the ownership has been transferred at the end of lease term? Correct? Then in that case, depreciation will be calculated based on useful life, not based on lease term. So if the ownership is transferred, then depreciation will be calculated based on useful life. Suppose lease term is what? 5 years and useful life is 10 years. Then we will calculate depreciation based on lease term or useful life? Useful life. But if the ownership is not going to be transferred at the end of lease term, then depreciation will be calculated based on lease term or useful life, whichever is lower. Lease term or useful life, whichever is lower. Correct? So in this case, it will be based on lease term. But if suppose useful life is 3 years, then of course depreciation is based on 3 years, not based on 5 years. Understood? So what I said, if the ownership will be transferred at the end of lease term, then depreciation is based on useful life. But if ownership is not going to be transferred at the end of lease term, then depreciation is based on lease term or useful life, whichever is lower. Normally till now, whatever question has been given, in that case, normally ownership is not transferred. If ownership is not transferred, then normally it is based on lease term, because useful life is will be more than what? Lease term. So be careful, read the question carefully, whether ownership is transferred or not transferred. If ownership is transferred, then based on useful life. And normally whatever question has been given till now, in that economic life and lease term are normally same. Therefore that type of question till now you have not seen. But at any point of time they can change the question now. They can change the question. Okay, sir. This is over. Lessee accounting is completed. Now coming to lesser accounting. So what AS19 says that lesser can be of 2 types. Either they can be manufacturer or they can be non-manufacturer. Manufacturer or dealer or non-manufacturer dealer. Correct? Now, if I am saying manufacturer dealer, so can I say the whatever asset is given lease, they are inventory. It is nothing but inventory. Yes or no? For manufacturer dealer, the asset given on lease will be inventory. But in this case, the asset given on lease will not be inventory. Means this is, if they are non-manufacturer dealer, means they are financer. They are just like a bank, which are financing the transaction. Are you able to understand? Correct. So in this case, what will be our journal entry? Because it is an inventory, we should recognize revenue. So journal entry will be what? Lease receivable account debit to revenue. It is just like debtor account debit to sales, correct? And the cost price of inventory will become expense. So we'll pass one more journal entry, cost of sales account debit to inventory. Cost of sales account debit to inventory. This will be done at carrying amount of inventory. Carrying amount of inventory. Only I need to explain what is this amount. What is this amount? Correct. Can you see in this case, will not recognize revenue because they are not manufacturer dealer. It is as simple as sale of any other asset. So here the journal entry will what? Lease receivable account debit to asset. Asset will be recognized at carrying amount, and this will be recognized at amount. This amount we need to understand. And the difference between these two will be gain or loss, which will be transferred to what? PL. Which will be transferred to PL. Have you know the difference in journal entry? Correct? Understood? However, in exam they don't ask journal entry. They will ask this amount. So this amount is what that I need to explain. This amount is what? Net investment in lease. What we call? Net investment in lease. We call net investment in lease. Now, sir, what is net investment? So net investment means what? Present value of gross investment. Present value of gross investment. Now you'll ask me, sir, what is gross investment? Gross investment. So what is gross investment? Gross investment means what? MLP. MLP means what? Minimum lease payment. From the point of view of lesser. Now minimum lease payment from the point of view of lesser, plus unguaranteed residual value, plus UGRV, unguaranteed residual value. Understood? So this amount will be what? Net investment. Net investment means what? Present value of gross investment. Gross investment means what? MLP from the point of view of lesser plus unguaranteed residual value. Now, so what is MLP from the point of lesser? It is nothing but lease payment over lease term, excluding what? That three amount. Contingent rent, cost of services and taxes. That too you have understood. Lease payment, you know. So lease payment over lease term plus GRB. But GRB from the point of view of lesser. However, in CA Inter, GRB from the point of lessee and GRB from the point of lesser will be always same. Practically it can be different. Okay? So I am writing lease payment plus GRB. What is UGRB? UGRB means what? What is the expected residual value of lesser minus what? GRB. Minus GRB. Means suppose GRB is 10,000. Means the guarantee given by lessee to lesser. But what was the expectation of lesser is 15,000. Means they are expecting how much? 15,000. So how much is not guaranteed? 5,000. So we'll do minus what? 10,000, and this will become what? 5,000. Understood? This become what? Gross investment. And if you know discounting, you will discount and calculate present value, and that present value of gross investment will become net investment, and this amount will be net investment. Understood? Have you understood this point? Correct? Chalo. So only one favorite question of the institute, I don't know, they are asking this question only at CA Inter level. Is this question. This is the only one favorite question. They have not gone beyond this till now, and they will not go. I know. Prakash Limited leased the machine to Badal Limited. Fair value of machine is how much? 48 lakh. Lease term is what? 5 years. Lease rental per annum is what? 8 lakh. GRB how much? 1.6 lakh. Expected residual value how much? 3 lakh. So what is UGRB? 1.4. Internal rate of return is what? 15%. They are so good that they are giving discounting factor also. Now 4 decimal they have given. For how many years they have given? 5 years. Determine unearned finance income. Unearned finance income is what? Interest. Means can you see, if I say gross investment minus net investment is what? Unearned finance income. So future value minus present value is interest. So unearned finance income is what? Gross investment minus net investment. Correct? So let us do it. First, let us calculate gross investment. So gross investment means what? MLP from the point of view of lesser plus UGR. Correct. So MLP is lease payment over lease term plus GRB plus UGRB. So what is the lease payment given? 8 lakh into how much? 8 lakh into 5 plus GRB given how much? 1.6, 1 lakh 60,000, and UGRB how much? So the total become what? Gross investment. What is the gross investment? 40 low. Simple na? Such a simple question. Gross investment done. Now we'll find out net investment. Net investment is present value of gross investment. Now let us find out. So 8 lakh into annuity factor. 8 lakh into annuity factor means sum total of present value factor. So can you give me sum total? This only. This, all this plus, taken plus. How much? How much? 3.3522 plus, can you say 1,60,000 by using present value of 5th year plus 1,40,000. This is also present value factor of 5th year. So 5th year, what is the present value factor? Because that is payable at the end now. 4972. 4972. So we will do into 0.4972 into 0.4972. Can you multiply and can you give me? Total. Give me total. Huh? $28 lakh. 30,920 total amount now. So this become what? Net investment. So what is unearned finance income? Is equal to 43 lakh minus 28 lakh 30,920. So what is the answer? 14 lakh 080. This is the answer. Understood? Correct? Super easy. Only calculation. Calculation, one mistake, 0 marks. The entire marks is based for concentration. How much you are concentrating. One simple mistake, 8 marks question become 0 marks. Got this point? Can I say instead of using this, you can use tabular format also? So that is your choice. You want to do in tabular format or you want to do by using this? That is your choice. You can see in solution they have given tabular format. So you can do in this way also. That is your choice. Okay, sir? Okay. Answer is coming same only, 14,69,080. So this is one of the favorite question. One more question which is very popular, which is have been asked a lot of time. This is the question. 11. This is the most favorite. I will say most favorite question. What is this question? BNP Limited availed a lease from NN Unlimited. The condition of lease term are as under. Lease period is 3 years. In the beginning of the year 2009, for equipment costing rupees 10 lakh and has an expected useful life 5 years. So what is the useful life? What is the lease term? Whether it is for major part? No, it is not for major part. 3 by 5, how much percentage? Not a major part, no? Don't think 3, 5. Calculate, huh? It is not for major part. The fair market value is what? 10 lakh. Fair market value of what? of the asset. The property revert back to the lessor on termination of lease means ownership is not transferred. Ownership is not transferred. Means first condition and second condition also not satisfied. Correct. The UGRB is estimated to be 1 lakh at the end of year 2011. Means at the end of year 3. 3 equal annual payment are made at the end of each year. Means they are given lease payment. Consider IRR 10%. The present value factor also given. State whether lease constitute a finance lease and also calculate unearned finance income. So there are two questions. First, they are asking whether it is a finance lease. Just try to understand. Whenever they have given GRB, UGRB, interest rate, it will be always what? But you need to prove it. You can't write the GRB is given, so it is what? Finance lease. You need to prove it. So can you see in this case, you can see no direct information is given. Means first condition, second condition, third condition, last condition not satisfied. So apply which condition? Fourth condition. You need to find out present value of minimum lease payment. Compare with what? Fair value. If it is equal to or more than 90%, it will be a finance lease. So let us calculate first present value of minimum lease payment. So what is the minimum lease payment? What is the lease payment? Oh my God, lease payment is not given in the question. This is only what an interesting point. You can see they have given annual payment, but what is the amount of annual payment is not given. It means you need to apply one mathematical skills. So what we'll do in this question number 11. First we will do one working note. Calculation of what? Annual lease payment. We'll say let lease payment be X. Let annual lease payment be X. Correct. Understood. Now can I say in this way, if I will calculate present value of minimum lease payment plus present value of UGRB, can you see it must be equal to the fair value of the asset? It should be always equal to the fair value of asset. Understood? Now, when I am saying present value of MLP, it is nothing but present value of total lease payment plus present value of GRB. Yes or no? Plus present value of UGRB must be equal to fair value, because MLP is equal to lease payment plus GRB. MLP is equal to lease payment plus GRB. So you are splitting it. You are splitting it now. Got this point? Now, can you say lease payment to we have assumed X? So we'll do X into total annuity factor. What is the annuity factor given? Check karo. Can you give me the sum total given? 2.4868. So we'll do 2.4868 plus GRB how much given? GRB how much given? You can see UGRB given how much? 1 lakh. GRB is not given, then assume nil. The GRB is not given means GRB. No guarantee is given. It is nil. It is quite possible in your exam question GRB is given, and therefore I am writing present value GRB. But can you see in this question GRB become nil, and UGRB is how much? 1 lakh. 1 lakh into what? It is for third year. It is how much given? 0.7513. It is 0.7513. 0.7513. And what is the fair value given? 10 lakh it is given in the question. Can you solve it and can you find out X? Find out X. Have you understood this? Mama, X? No, no. Three lakh. 3,71,000. Say one amount. I am totally confused. 912 na? Okay, 91112 in exam you write perfectly. Abhi you say me approximate amount. I'm not concerned about this. I'm concerned about this calculation process. Amount you will calculate because you have calculator. Huh? Okay. Have you understood the process? This amount is not relevant. This calculation, how you are doing, that is relevant. Are you able to understand? So can you say now you have calculated annual lease payment? So that is a part of working note. Correct. Now we'll come to the main question. They have asked nature of lease. So we'll find out nature of lease. Whether it is a finance lease or. So we want present value of minimum lease payment. Now present value of minimum lease payment. Now you don't consider what? UGRB. Now present value of minimum lease payment is present value of total lease payment plus present value of GRB. I'm just writing GRB to inform you that GRB will be considered. Correct. Now in this GRB is nil. So we can find out now present value of total lease payment. So total lease payment already we calculated X how much? 3 lakh. 3,71,912 multiplied by what? Present value. Annuity factor. Annuity factor is what? 2.4868. How much it is coming? 9 lakh 77,000. 9,20,871. Understood? Now we'll compare with the fair value. Fair value is what? 10 lakh. So what is the percentage of these two? It is coming 92.48%. It means the present value of lease payment substantially cover the fair value of asset and therefore condition satisfied. Therefore lease is what? Finance lease. So that you can write down in words. You can't write down it is a finance. Write down as per AS 19, since on inception of lease, present value of minimum lease payment covers substantially the fair value of asset. Therefore, it will be considered as finance lease. This much can you write down? Understood. Now we'll calculate unearned finance income. So unearned finance income formula is what? Gross investment minus net investment. Can you say gross investment is nothing but sum total of, means you'll do 3,71,912 multiplied by 3 plus GRB is nil. UGRB is how much? 1 lakh. So this is gross investment. Gross investment how much? 12 lakh 736. This is gross investment. Now can you net investment will be present value and present value will be equal to 10 lakh only. If you want to calculate, but present value will be equal to 10 lakh or not. This is the equation now. So if there is no need to calculate. If you want to calculate your choice. It will be approximately equal to 10 lakh. So net investment will be 10 lakh and therefore unearned finance income will be 2,15,736. Low, done. This is one of the favorite question of the CA intern. Have been asked in every alternative attempt. Whenever they ask you a question of AS 19, I don't know why. They have some love with this question. They are in love. And why students are doing some small mistake? You know which question become favorite question of the institute? Where students are doing mistake. So most of the students are doing mistake. They know we have done a lot of practice, but in exam, due to under pressure, they are doing some small mistake. Calculation mistake they are doing. So avoid calculation mistake. Done. So with this, we almost completed what? Financially lesser accounting also. This everything I have said. If you want to read, you will be able to understand. Only one point. Just read yahan tak. Read yahan tak. You will be able to understand. Now one more question they may ask, which is asked only one times in exam of CA intern, but then also should be done na. Ki calculate interest rate implicit on the lease. They will ask you to calculate what interest rate implicit on lease. So how to calculate that? We will calculate by applying IRR concept. In FM you have done IRR. How many of you not done group 2? Thoda sa. If you have not done group 2, it means I need to explain. And I think you all know IRR, internal rate of return. So what is interest rate implicit in the lease? Normally they should not ask this question, because if anyone is writing group 1, so for that this is difficult, and therefore only one time it has been asked. Only one time. You know why one time? Because FM is in group 2. So any student who is writing only group 1, they will not be able to understand the calculation of this, because this is based on IRR concept which is in FM. Are you able to understand? But those who know FM, for them it is very easy. So what is the interest rate implicit in the lease? Is the discount rate at which present value of minimum lease payment plus present value of unguaranteed residual value is equal to what? Fair value of asset. So that rate of interest will become interest rate implicit on the lease. Means, can I say you need to take 2 rate of interest, then find out present value, correct now, and then compare that to present value to find out what? Interest rate. So those who have not done FM, for that I'll give one formula. You know present value, but I'll give one formula, and those who know FM, they can understand that formula. Okay, sir? Yes, sir. So only one question, only for the margin of safety. Suppose they give this type of question, you should be able to do it. What do you understand by interest rate implicit on the lease? So what is the interest rate implicit on the lease? The discount rate at which present value of MLP plus present value of UGRB is equal to fair value of the asset. Only this much you should write down. Okay? Calculate interest rate implicit on lease by using the following details. Annual lease rent is what? 80,000. Lease period is what? 5 year. GRB is what? 40,000. UGRB is what? 24,000. Fair value is what? 3,20,000. And they have given 2 rate of interest. And they have given what? Discounting factor also. So what you will do? Those who have not done FM, they know how to calculate present value. So you need to first calculate present value of MLP plus UGRB at 10%. Then calculate present value of MLP and UGRB at 14%. This much you can do. This much everyone can do. Those who have not done FM, they can also do. So you can do. This is the present value at 10%. This is the present value at 14%. Okay. Now those who have done FM without seeing the solution, can you calculate IRR? Calculate. Then I will come back to you. I'll give one formula. Magafy that formula because I don't have any choice. I can't explain IRR concept right now. That is out of my body. Okay? I can explain, but I will not give that much time to you. Okay? But I'll give one formula. Okay? Those who have done FM, can you find out that interest rate implicit on lease? I just want to check whether you remember that formula or not. Fair value of the asset is how much? 3,20,000. Fair value of asset is 3,20,000. Done? Don't see solution, huh? Calculate it. Whatever answer you are getting, fixed in that answer only. Because if you are doing mistake, then I need to explain. Huh? It cannot be 1.60. 12. 12 point. One answer I got 12.60. 1 1 12.11. How much? 17. It cannot be more than 14%. The rate of interest will be between 10% and 14%. Between 10% and 14%. That is IRR concept. Chalo. Let's see what is the answer. Answer is 12.61. Means this is correct. Chalo. What is the formula? Formula is what? IRR we need to calculate. So those who have not done, write down this formula. Lower rate of interest plus present value at lower rate of interest minus fair value of asset divided by present value at lower rate of interest minus present value at higher rate of interest multiplied by difference of two rate of interest, difference between rate of interest, whatever rate of interest we have taken now, difference between rate of interest. This is the formula. So what is the lower rate of interest we have taken? 10% plus what is the present value at lower rate of interest? It is how much? 3,42,944, correct? Lower rate of interest 10%. 3,42,944. This is at 14%. Typo mistake. Huh? Typo mistake. Huh? 3,42,944. 3,42,944 minus what is the fair value? 3,20,000 divided by 3,42,944 minus what is the present value at higher rate of interest? It is 3,07,000. 3,07,776 multiplied by difference. 14 minus 10 how much? 4. Multiply by 4. Means first you calculate a bracket 1. First this bracket 1, huh? Then plus 10%. So can you give me the bracket 1 first? 0. 0. 0. What you are saying, Baba? 2.6096. It is 10, so it becomes 12.60. 12.60 is correct answer. But it should be, I think, don't give me in percentage format. You have converted in percentage format now. Better you should do in this way. 10% means 0.10 plus this is 0.0260. So it becomes 0.1260. In percent it becomes 12.60%. This is the answer. Okay. Those who have not done FM, write down this formula somewhere. Chances rare, but one time they have asked, it can be repeated, and the same question we have in ICS study material. So any question of ICS study material is important, but they are not asking why, because FM is in group 2. Understood what I am saying? But if they are asking, you can't blame anyone now, because it is a part of syllabus. If you know this formula, you can do it. So before exam, just revise this formula and go. Okay, present value you can work out. Okay, sir. Done. This also understood. So I hope now with this you have understood what is the interest rate implicit on lease. Then balance you can understand. Now let us come to operating lease. Operating lease is very simple. Normally they are not asking question from operating lease, but with MCQs they will ask. Now operating lease, one thing is clear that asset will not be transferred. Means the asset which is given lease will be shown in the books of lessor, will not be shown in the books of lessee. So asset given on lease will not be recognized in the books of lessee. This will record, means this will be recorded, means it will remain in the balance sheet of lessor. Correct. Therefore, depreciation will be claimed by lessor only as per accounting standard 10, because that will be property, plant and equipment of lessor. Chalega. And lessee will not recognize any depreciation on that, because no asset or no depreciation. Now, the important point is point number 3. Whatever lease payment is paid by lessee to lessor, will become expense of lessee and income of lessor. So how to recognize that expense and income, that we need to understand. So what AS 19 says that total lease payment will be recognized as an expense or income in respective books. Total lease payment will be recognized as an expense or income in respective books over the lease term on SLM basis or any other appropriate method as specified in the question. Any other appropriate method as given in the question. Means if question is silent, always apply SLM. But suppose they have given some more information about method, then apply that method, whatever is given. Understood? Correct. So lease payments should be recognized as an expense on SLM basis over the lease term. If any other method is more appropriate, then that method can be used. Only this much is important. Means let me take one simple question. Suppose an asset has been given for 3 years and the lease payment agreed 1 year, 2 year, 3 year is 10,000, 15,000, 20,000. This is lease payment. So what will be the expense of first year? What will be the expense of first year? Understood the question? Question have you understood? Once again, what they have asked, lease payment agreed for first year, second year, third year is 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 payable at the end of each year. So what is the expense in the books of lessee for first year? Everyone is not responding, therefore I am waiting. Have you understood the question? Question have you understood? Once again I am repeating. If I am waiting means I want you to answer. If 1 or 2 are answering, so my job not done. My job is not done till everyone is answering. Okay. So once again, 3-year lease term, lease payment agreed first year 10,000, second year 15,000, third year 20,000. So what is the expense of first year? 10,000. Expense is 10,000. How many are saying 10,000? How many are saying 15,000? How many are saying any other answer? So 15,000 is correct. 15,000 is correct. Just try to understand. You are not able to understand my viewpoint. Okay? If you are silent, so I am not able to understand whether you have understood my English or not. Because I have already explained English. English no I have said now. This is the English. But whether you are able to understand or you are not able to understand, if you will keep silent, how can I understand? Already a statement I have given. Bolna re. So please respond. Don't wait for others. You need to answer it. 10,000 you have given wrong answer. So you should be happy that yes sir, I have given wrong answer. Let us rectify it. Because in exam I will be not with you. Your friends will not be with you. Your books will not be with you. Only you and your concept will be with you. So you need to apply your own concept now. So now if you will say 10,000, I will not rectify it, and in exam what will happen? You will give 10,000. Or suppose you say 10,000 but the answer is 15,000. I said he is correct, but you are not able to understand it. Then in exam also once again you write on 10,000 only. So better give wrong answer and try to rectify it. Okay. So your answer is 10,000 wrong means you have not understood the English. What the English is that lease payment will be recognized as an expense over the lease term on SLM basis. Means you need to find out first total lease payment. What is the total lease payment? Total lease payment is 45,000 divided by what? 3 means first year expense is what? Second year is what? Third year is what? 15,000. Means this is payment. This is expense. But we do accounting on payment basis or accrued basis. So this is accrued expense. Payment is not an expense because we do accounting on accrual basis. Now your expense is 15,000 but you have paid 10,000. It means how much is payable? So first year how much is payable? 5,000. Second year, your payment is how much? Your expense is how much? You paid how much? So how much is payable? 0. Means this will be carry forward. 5,000 still payable. Still payable lah. Correct. Then next year, what is your expense? But you paid how much? Means you paid payable also. Now your payable become how much? Nil. So they may ask you two things in exam in MCQ question. Either they will ask you what is the expense. Expense is what? 15,000 per annum. Okay. Or they will ask you what is the amount payable at the end of first year. What is the answer? Second year? Third year? Nil. Understood? Have you understood? Okay. One more question. The same question is given. Information is same. First year, second year, third year. 10,000, 15,000, 20,000. But now they are saying the lessee is expecting that by using the machine, they will able to generate this much unit. 1,000 units in the first year, 2,000 units in the second year, and 3,000 units in the third year. Now, can you apply SLM basis? No. Now, this production unit method will be used to find out expense. Means what is the total expense? 45,000. 45,000 will be allocated in which ratio? 1:2, 2:3. So first year how much? First year how much? 7,500. Then have you understood the question? Please don't discuss with others. If you have any doubt, you ask me, because I will explain better than him. Believe me. Try once. Believe me, I will explain better than him. Then what is the use? First, you are disturbing me. Second, you are disturbing yourself also. Third, you are disturbing others also. Please, I am requesting you all. I am here to help you. I came from somewhere else to help you only. If you are not taking my help, then you are wasting your time. Okay? Got this point? And believe me, I will be the last person to say that I will not answer your question. Till, just say he has asked, I said out of not important, because I know that type of question will not be asked. If you want that question also, I will explain. Correct? But I need to explain each point under one time period. Okay, sir? Please. And I require a lot of concentration. If you will disturb me, I will lose my concentration. Okay? Have you understood this point? So this is because any other appropriate method is given. Now don't apply what? SLM. Have you understood? Same thing will be done in the books of lesser, but expense will become income. A very good question was asked in exam. I would like to take that question. This question was not again repeated, but quality of question, 5 marks question it was asked. A machine was given on 3-year operating lease. Some of this question you are doing for the first time. Means we have not done in class and it is asked in exam. Can you blame me? Can you blame ICI? You need to apply your common sense. Because you have that sense now. So have confidence on you and answer. You have done this question previously. If you have done, then it become easy. If you have not done, apply your common sense. A machine was given 3-year operating lease by a dealer of the machine for equal annual lease rental to yield 30% profit margin on cost of 2,25,000. English you understood? I will not explain English. That too you need to understand by your own. Because in exam you need to understand question by your own. That much capacity you should have. Okay? Economic life of the machine is what? But this is not at all important because already they have given what? Operating lease. They have already given operating lease. So for us, 3 years is important. And the output from the machine is estimated to be this, and this consecutively for how many years? 5 years. Understood? Straight line depreciation in proportion of output is considered appropriate. Okay. Means for depreciation also they are using what? In proportion of output is considered appropriate. Means they are using production unit method. Okay. you are required to compute the following as per AS 19. First, they ask annual lease rent. Means what will be the annual lease rent? They are asking that. So can you calculate? The annual lease rent is 30% profit on cost 2,25,000. Bolo. Can you calculate? And they have taken for 3 years out of 5 years. Apply your common sense. What can be the annual lease rent? One hint I'll give. One hint I'll give. You want one hint? Chalo. Somebody say no, so I'll not give hint. Chalo, one hint I am giving, small hint, because in that you may do mistake. This 2,25,000 is for 5 years or 3 years? No, Ray. You purchase a machine that can be used by the lessor for how many years? 5 years. So you purchase, lessor has purchased a machine, so that can be used for how many years? 5 years. This much hint I have given. But lease term is how many years? 3 years. So lease payment will be for how many years? 3 years. Hint I have given. Now do. This much hint was required. Now I hope you can do it. Hint I have given. Somebody has calculated any amount? Chal. Now, anyone has calculated? Not calculated? Bolo. Bolo, amount? 8,77,500. Any other option? This is annual lease payment now. Annual lease payment. Total lease payment. So divide by 3 kar do. How much? 2,92,000. Huh? 500. So one answer I got 2,92,500. Any other answer? Chal. I will do it. Let's see whether C is correct or not, or whether your answer is correct or not. But first thing, one thing, just try to understand before I do the question. Whenever I am asked you to do, first don't discuss with others. Why you are discussing? I don't like this, because in exam your friend is not with you and you are using some other's mind to calculate answer. That is not justified. Do it by row. Okay? Second, write and do. Most of the students I have seen doing in calculator. That is the worst habit. If you do only in calculator, you will not be able to understand what you are doing. Whatever you are understanding, write and do. These two habits should be there. Don't discuss and write and do. Don't do directly in calculator. Okay? Because you are Atma, not Paramatma. We need to understand what we are doing. So write and do. Okay? Now बताओ, what is the total cost? 2,50,000. They want to earn how much profit? We'll add 30%. 30% is how much? 2,20,000 plus 30%. This is 2,25,000. Oh, 2,25,000 plus 30%, how much? 2,92,000. Now, but this is for 5 year or 3 year? No. This already a hint I have given. Then also you are not able to apply that hint. This cost is for how many years? So if you have added 30% profit on this will be for how many years? That only hint I have given now. Now, this has been given for how many years? First year, second year, and third year, and fourth year and fifth year. Means now how much will be the lease payment for these 3 years? We need to find out. That we need to find out. So we need to understand how much they are expecting to generate output. So what is the output of first year? 60,000. Then so it means, can I say, we need to find out how much should be the lease payment from lessee for first 3 years. That should be based on this ratio. So what is the total of this? Total of this is what? 4,50,000. And what is the total of these three? Total of these three? 2,25,000. 2,25,000. So what do you do? 2,92,500 into 2,25,000 for the first 3 years divided by 4,50,000 for the entire year. So what is the allocated amount? 1,46,250. Divide. This become total lease payment for how many years? 3 years. Divide by 3. So what is the annual lease payment? Annual lease payment? 48,750. This become the annual lease payment. This become the annual lease payment. Okay, sir. Now this question will come. You can do it. Have you understood? Have you understood this? This become annual lease payment. This is not expense. This is the annual lease payment. This is not expense. First question I have done. Second question, third question will become easy now. Now you need to. Okay. This is annual lease payment. I have not said expense. For expense apply AS 19. For payment as per agreement. Agreement you will apply now. What they are miss, you are calculating payment as per the information given the question. They are saying lessor is expecting to generate 30% out of that, but for 3 years. If suppose that it is given for the entire economic life, then your answer will be 2,90,500. But that is given only for how many years? 3 years. So they will try to generate, they will try to recover the lease payment based on these 3 years. Based on these 3 years. So this is annual lease payment. It's not expense. Expense will be done on SLM basis or any other appropriate method. Understood this point? Now second question what they have asked. Annual lease rent check karo. Answer is coming same 48,750. Now lease rent income. Now they are asking income because they are asking from lesser point of view. So what will be lease rent income? What will be lease income? So lease income you will do on SLM basis or production unit method. Which basis? Production unit method, because appropriate method has been given. So what you will do? This 48,750 means 48,750 multiplied by 3 is equal to how much? 1,46,250. This will be allocated in which ratio? First year, second year, third year. What is your production unit method? 60,000, 75,000, and can you allocate? Allocate in this ratio. 39,000, 48,750 and 58,500. Understood? Understood? The last question. Apply once again. Common sense. Depreciation for 3-year lease. But who will charge depreciation? Lesser. What is the cost price for lesser? 2,25,000. But they will use SLM or production unit method? Production unit method. Because they have already said based on the output from the machine. They have said now straight line depreciation in proportion of output. So can you calculate the first year, second year and third year depreciation? Here also you'll do mistake. Be careful. Be careful. Let everyone say. Have you understood the question? You need to calculate depreciation for 3-year lease, first year, second, third year. Cost price is 2,25,000 and you need to apply output, production unit method. Apply. First year depreciation how much? Second, 30,000. 37,000. For third year, 43, 45,000. Is it correct? Everyone doing same? Everyone doing same? Anyone have some other answer? Means everyone is correct. Because now I will not ask. If you are giving wrong answer, say yes sir, I am giving wrong answer. Okay? Okay? So this is correct. Means you have done correct only. So no explanation required. Correct now? Very good. Done. Answer is same only. 30,000, 37,500 and 45,000. Means you need to apply entire production. The entire production is 60,000, 75,000, 90,000, 1,20,000 and 1,05,000. You have done on that basis only? Very good. Excellent. So this was one question. Only one good question they have asked for operating lease till now. Means in every item normally they ask finance lease. Till now they have not asked operating lease. Only one time they have asked operating lease. That also very good question. The last point of this chapter is sale and lease back. Now sale and lease back, once again, from my point of view, this should not be asked at CA inter level, but they are asking. So they are asking, so I need to teach. I need to teach. Correct? Only you need to understand whatever I am saying. If you understood whatever I am saying, you will be able to answer any question in exam. Any question in exam. Okay, sir? Now, I hope you know about sale and lease back. Means there is one person seller, there is person one buyer, and seller has sold the asset to buyer. So this is known as sale. And then again the buyer will lease back to what? Seller. So this is lease. So this becomes sale plus lease back. So this person will become seller plus lessee, and this person will become buyer plus lessor. Correct. Now this lease can be either finance lease or operating lease as per AS 19. Correct. Now can you say this will be accounted as per AS 19? So we are not discussing about finance lease or operating lease. Means we are not concerned about lease. We are concerned about sale, because whenever there is a sale, so there will be gain or loss on sale, gain or loss on sale. And can you say whenever it's sale, so this sale of PP, so AS 10 will be applicable. Now AS 10 says that any gain or loss will be immediately transferred to PL, but AS 19 says no. In this case, gain or loss on sale will have some different treatment. That treatment we need to understand. So right now we are only concerned about the accounting treatment of gain or loss on sale of asset in sale and leaseback transaction. Understood what is the topic? Topic is what? Accounting treatment of gain or loss on sale of asset in sale and leaseback transaction. Got this point? Now the accounting treatment is based on whether it is a finance lease or operating lease. That will be given in the question. If not given, so you can identify. So if it is finance lease, so accounting treatment is what? This gain or loss will not be recognized immediately. that will be deferred and will be recognized in PL during the useful life of asset in the ratio of depreciation of the asset. Understood? Only this much. So if it is finance lease, so what they are saying, this will be considered as deferred gain or loss. Means it will not be recognized in PL immediately. And this deferred gain or loss will be transferred to PL over which term? Over the useful life of asset in the ratio of depreciation. Only this much you need to retain. Understood? So if it is a finance lease, then gain or loss will not be recognized immediately. It will be deferred and it will be amortized to PL in the ratio of depreciation over the useful life of the asset. Understood? Correct. But till now they have not asked this question in exam. They have asked about operating lease. Means in exam they have asked 3 times or 4 times, I think, AS19 sale and lease back, and they have not asked finance lease. They have every time they are asking what? Operating lease. So operating lease is more important from examination point of view. Correct. Now if it is operating lease, so they are saying there can be 3 situations. There can be 3 situations. What are the 3 situations? Either sale price is equal to fair value. Sale price is equal to fair value. A second, sale price is more than fair value. A third, sale price is less than fair value. So first you need to understand what is the case. Understood? Correct. So whenever it is operating lease, you need to just identify whether sale price is equal to fair value or sale price is not equal to fair value. Can you see, when I am saying sale price is equal to fair value, it means it is okay only. Means the fair value asset is 10 lakh and you have sold at 10 lakh, so genuine transaction or not. Means no adjustment has been done. So whenever genuine transaction, gain or loss will be immediately transferred to PL. So in this case, any gain, any loss on sale of asset will be immediately transferred to PL. Immediately transferred to PL. Simple. Simple. Correct. Bolo. Any doubt? Correct. Now this we need to understand ki what will be the situation yahan par. What will be situation yahan par. Correct. So first transaction you have understood. Whenever sale price is equal to fair value, gain or loss on sale of asset will be immediately transferred to PL because it is a genuine transaction. But whenever sale is not done at fair value, means there is some adjustment. There is some adjustment. Ki suppose the fair value is equal to 10 lakh, but sale price is equal to 12 lakh. So there is some adjustment of 2 lakh. Why the asset has been sold at 2 lakh? Excess price of 2 lakh. Because the sales will be done at 10 lakh, but why the sale has been done at 12 lakh? So some question will arise or not. Okay. Or if the fair value is equal to 10 lakh, but sale price is 8 lakh, then also question will arise. Then also question will arise. Understood? So here there is some adjustment required. Some adjustment required. Understood? Now, can you say gain or loss is calculated by comparing sale price with book value? Let's say book value is equal to 8 lakh. Book value is equal to 8 lakh. Understood? So you only say to find out gain or loss, you will compare sale price of fair value with book value. Can you say the sales should be done at fair value only? So we will compare this and this to find out gain or loss. Means actually if there is no adjustment, sales should be done at fair value only. So what our AS19 says that gain or loss will be calculated by comparing fair value and book value. Understood? So this is how much? 10 lakh minus 8 lakh. How much gain? And this 2 lakh will be immediately transferred to PL. Understood? And the difference between these two means when you calculate, when you compare sale price minus fair value, this is 2 lakh. So this is known as deferred gain. This will not be transferred immediately to PL. And this deferred gain will be amortized to PL over the lease term in the ratio of lease payment. In the ratio of lease payment. So this will be amortized 2PL over lease term in the ratio of lease payment. In the ratio of lease payment. Understood this point? Are you able to understand? Have you understood? Correct. Means what you will do? You will calculate deferred gain. Deferred gain will be equal to what? Sale price minus fair value. And the gain or loss will be calculated by comparing fair value and book value. Fair value and book value. Understood? This is easy, this is easy. This is interesting. They require more concentration to understand. Are you able to understand what I am saying? Now, whenever sale price is less than fair value, they have given two situations in this. Correct? Understood. First situation is what? They have given two situations under this. First, if loss is not compensated by future lease payment. Second, if loss is compensated by future lease payment. Understood? Just try to understand situation, what actually happened. I always say accounting standard is based on substance over contract, substance over form. Now suppose I have an asset, try to understand. I have an asset whose fair value is 10 lakh. Whose fair value is 10 lakh. Understood? Are you able to understand? But I need only 8 lakh. I need only 8 lakh. Now you are financer. I will approach you. I will say, Sirji, I am in need of money. You said, okay, I am financer, I will help you. Well, I have an asset with worth rupees 10 lakh. Well, okay, give me that asset. So I will sell the asset. Well, I need only 8 lakh. Because I require only 8 lakh. Well, okay, I'll give you 8 lakh. Give me an asset of 10 lakh. I will say, sir, ruko. Because the asset is worth of rupees 10 lakh. But I am in need of 8 lakh. Are you able to understand? So you need to adjust the future lease payment by decreasing the lease payment. Yes or no? Means in this case, the loss is compensated by future lease payment. Loss is compensated by future lease payment. Understood? What I will say to the financer, I have sold an asset worth rupees 10 lakh at rupees 8 lakh. So there is a loss of 2 lakh to me now. That you compensate by decreasing the future lease payment, annual lease payment. Means if the annual lease payment is 1 lakh per annum, so I will pay you only 80,000. That will be an adjustment done. So genuine transaction, it is already adjusted. It is already adjusted. Understood? This can be the first case. Means in this case what happened? His sale price is 8 lakh. Fair value is 10 lakh. I am in need of only 8 lakh. So I receive 8 lakh and it is the loss whatever was there, that is automatically adjusted in future lease payment. Understood? Second situation. Same situation, I have a asset worth rupees 10 lakh. I need 10 lakh only now. So I approach you. You said, even though asset is 10 lakh, I will give 8 lakh. If you want, take, otherwise go. Now I am in need of 10 lakh. And if you are not giving me finance, can I say, I will adjust in 8 lakh or not? Means right now you are exploiting my situation because I am in need of money. I am in need of money now. Not able to understand. What happened? I have an asset worth rupees 10 lakh. I am in need of loan. If I will not get loan, I will liquidate. Means I will die. Yes or no? So I approach you. You try to exploit my situation. You said I will give 8 lakh. And no adjustment in future lease payment. But I will say yes or no. I will say yes because I am in need of money. So I have sold an asset of rupees 10 lakh at rupees 8 lakh without any adjustment in future lease payment. Understood? That's two situations. So what they are saying, in this case, there can be two situations. Where the loss is not compensated by future lease payment, where loss is compensated by future lease payment. Understood? Have you understood this case? So in this case, what they want to say, the entire gain loss will be recognized immediately in PL because nothing is compensated by future lease payment. And you have actually sold your asset at rupees 8 lakh only. You have actually sold your asset at rupees 8 lakh because no adjustment has been done with future lease payment. Understood? Means here you compare fair value with book value, sale price with book value, and entire gain and loss will be transferred to PL. But in this case, something has been adjusted with what? Future lease payment. It means you need to find out deferred loss. So what is the deferred loss? What was your fair value? 10 lakh. What is the sale price? 8 lakh. So what is your deferred loss? 2 lakh. This 2 lakh will be amortized to PL over the lease term in the ratio of what? Lease payment. In the ratio of lease payment. Understood? Correct? If question is silent about these two situations, as per ICA solution, follow these. As per ICA solution, follow these. The loss is not compensated by future lease payment as per ICI solution. Got this point? Now let us take one question. Let us apply this. This is detailed discussion I have done. This much discussion is not required if you have understood. If you have understood. Chalega? Now apply your common sense and answer this question. This is the question. A Limited sold machinery having WDB. WDB is book value for rupees 50 lakh. 50 lakh is sale price, and the same machinery was leased back by B Limited. The lease back is operating lease. So they will ask operating lease only. Okay. Now they have given this situation. First situation, sale price is 50 lakh equal to fair value. Batao, what will be the treatment? Gain or loss will be recognized immediately in PL. So what is the gain? Sale price is how much? 50 lakh. Book value is what? 40 lakh. So what is the gain? 10 lakh. This 10 lakh will be transferred to PL immediately. You get 1 marks. 1 marks is important, huh? Okay? So you say when sale price is 50 lakh equal to fair value, A Limited should immediately recognize the profit of 10 lakh in books. 1 marks you got? 1 marks. Okay? Second. Now they are saying same situation, but fair value is what? 60 lakh. Means sale price is less than? Sale price is what? 50 lakh, which is less than what? Fair value. Means third situation in our case. Okay? If nothing is given, so we'll assume loss is not compensated by future lease payment. What you will do? Gain or loss will be immediately transferred to PL. Understood? So you will compare what? Sale price is what? 50 lakh. Book value is what? 40 lakh. How much gain? Gain is what? 10 lakh. This will be transferred immediately to PL. Understood what is given? When the fair value is 60 lakh, then also gain of 10 lakh should be immediately transferred to PL. Can you get another 1 marks? Another 1 marks? If you are writing exactly what is given, and believe me, whatever I have said, you need to apply that only. Detailed discussion right now you will die. So I have not done detailed discussion. Okay? Okay, understood? Okay, then I'll give in writing. As writing I'll give what to see only from exam point of view. Okay? Now fair value is 45 lakh and sale price is 38 lakh. First which situation 1, 2, 3. First you apply that. So here sale price is what? 50 lakh. Oh sorry. Sale price is 38 lakh and fair value is 45 lakh. So sale price is less than fair value. 1, 2, 3. 3. 1 second 3. Nothing is given. So what you will assume? Situation number 1, loss is not compensated by future lease payment. So what is the sale price? 38 lakh. Book value 40 lakh. What is the loss? So what you will do? Transfer to immediately. Provided loss is not compensated by future lease payment. Provided loss is not compensated by future lease payment. देखो answer क्या लिखा हुआ है? When fair value is itna, sale price is itna, then loss of 2 lakh to be recognized immediately in PL in the books, provided loss is not compensated by future lease payment. Can you write on this word only? Sentence, provided the loss is not compensated by future lease payment. Can you write on this much? Answer, you get 1 more marks. 3 marks you got. Each marks will make 40 marks, 50 marks, 50 marks, 60 marks, 60 marks, 70 marks. This small questions. Correct? Then fair value is 40, sale price 50. Which situation? 1, 2, 3? Situation number 2. Fair value, sale price is more than fair value. So in this case, what you will do? You need to find out deferred gain. Deferred gain. So deferred gain will be what? Difference between two. Sale price is what? 50. Fair value is equal to 40. So what is the deferred gain? Deferred gain. So deferred gain will be amortized over the lease term in the ratio of lease payment. In the ratio of lease payment. Let's see. When the fair value is 40 lakh, sale price is 50 lakh, profit of 10 lakh is to be deferred and amortized over the lease period. You get another 1 marks. All answer is given by you. But those who are speaking, they are giving the answer. Those who are silent, I don't know what answer they are giving. Okay, sir? Last. Fair value is 46 lakh, sale price 50 lakh. Which situation? Situation number 2. In this case also, batao, is 50 lakh minus 46 lakh. How much? 4 lakh. Same treatment? Same treatment. So when fair value is 46 lakh, sale price 50 lakh, profit of 6 lakh to be immediately recognized in the books, and the balance profit of 4 lakh is to be amortized or deferred over the lease term. You can also find out gain or loss immediately. So what is the gain or loss? You will compare fair value and book value. So what is the fair value? 46. What is the book value? 40. So what is the gain? 6 lakh. This will be immediately transferred to PL. That also you can write down. Okay. Chalega. Then last. Fair value is 35 lakh. Sale price is 39 lakh. Which situation? Sale price is more than fair value. Second situation. Correct. Now give me deferred gain and gain or loss which will be transferred immediately to PL. Both you give. What is the deferred gain? 4 lakh. And how much will be transferred to PL immediately? Means you'll compare 40 lakh with 35 lakh. So there is a loss. Loss of how much? 5 lakh. So loss will be transferred immediately to PL. Correct? What is given? Check karo. In this case, loss of 5 lakh will be transferred immediately in PL and 4 lakh will be deferred over the lease period. All point you have understood. Now let me give in simple word. Just write down this, whatever I am writing. Means apply this in exam. Don't apply whatever is given in the book. That is detailed discussion. In class, that detailed discussion I do. Okay? Write down sale and lease back. Means in class also at the end I give this only in the class notes. So objective is to find out the accounting treatment of gain or loss on sale of asset. This is the objective. First identify whether it is a finance lease or operating lease. If it is finance lease, correct, we'll calculate deferred gain or loss, which will, are you able to understand handwriting? I will write down more clearly. Deferred gain or loss, that will be equal to compare sale price minus book value. Here there is no concept of fair value. Here there is no concept of fair value. Directly calculate sale price minus book value, and this will be deferred gain or loss, which will be amortized to PL over what? Over useful life of asset in the ratio of depreciation. In the ratio of depreciation. Understood? correct? But if it is operating lease, situation 1, 2 and 3. Situation 1 is what? Sale price is equal to fair value. Correct? This you have not understood? Amortized to PL over useful life of asset in the ratio of depreciation. Amortized to PL over the useful life of asset in the ratio of depreciation. Till now this point has not been asked in exam. But if they can ask operating lease, they can also ask finance lease. But not yet asked. In the ratio of depreciation. Okay. Now sale price is equal to fair value. Then calculate gain or loss by comparing sale price minus book value. And this will be immediately transferred to PL. Immediately transferred to PL. Means this becomes genuine transaction. Understood? PL means immediately transfer to PL. Okay. Second situation is what? Sale price is more than fair value. In this, first calculate deferred gain. D gain means what? Deferred gain. D gain means what? Deferred gain. Deferred gain we will compare sale price minus fair value. And this will be amortized over lease term. Amortized over lease term if you want to write down in the ratio of lease payment. If you want to write down that. Correct? Then calculate gain or loss. Gain or loss will be calculated by comparing fair value and book value. Fair value and book value. It can be gain, it can be loss. Okay? This will be transferred to PL immediately. This will be transferred to PL immediately. Got this point? Correct. Now sale price is less than fair value. Third situation. Okay. In this also calculate gain or loss by comparing sale price minus book value. If there is a gain, that will transfer to PL immediately. If there is a loss, this will be also transferred to PL immediately. But write down provided, one sentence, provided the loss is not compensated by future lease payment. Provided the loss is not compensated by future lease payment. Only write down this para. This is totally from exam point of view. Fully from, because I know the question will be silent. But if there is a loss, write down one sentence. The loss will be also transferred to PL provided the loss is not compensated by future lease payment. Even though you forget, don't write. You'll get half marks. Half marks is also important. But this much only. Can you revise and go in exam? Revise and go, because after 2 days you'll forget. So just before exam, revise it. Okay? Then you can recall. With this, AS19 is completed. AS19, everything I have covered. Provided loss is not compensated by future lease payment. Okay? Don't read this given in my book. For this particular case, this is a detailed discussion I have done with a lot of cases in class. That is not required. Okay?